A beautiful fall morning. Got the colors going. Monday, best day of the week, right? A little flat because the pain level in my head is pretty high right now. But I wanted to take a little bit to say thank you to the coordination community. We had a game thread Saturday, and it went pretty well. I mean, there was a few people that got a little, upset, and which is understandable the way that game went. But there were also a few of you, I think, that said that they were going to walk away from the keyboard for a while and go do something else. The previous week, I had to ban somebody for being toxic, and I don't like banning people. Uh, I don't. I don't. I want to build a community where we can have fun. And for over the past few years at Coordination, I have spent way too much time on Twitter instead of paying attention to my own website and my own game threads. So I want to say thank you to those of you that were wise enough to walk away from your keyboards and not just go into the depths of toxicity. I don't have a problem with people being negative, really, and I don't have a problem with people being critical. What I have a problem with during game threads is when people do these declarations where we're never going to win another game. Matt Rhule is a used car salesman and we'll never be this. You know what I mean? These declarations out into the future that are just, it's the end of everything and woe is me. And, Dylan Raiola is never going to do this or do that. They're exhausting. And that's what I don't want to see, especially during a game. I mean, you're trying to enjoy the game, you're trying to watch the game. I want a game thread in the community, and people on YouTube too. Although we don't do game threads, obviously, on YouTube. You can join us at Coordination. But what I want is a community where we can have, adult, civil conversations without people descending into name calling and again, the dread of the earth. Who deals in absolutes? Sith. You don't want to be a Sith, do you? That never will never win another game. I got news for you. All the game. Listen, if that last 2 weeks bothered you about how Nebraska played football, how throwing interceptions, pick six, stuff like that, I got news for you. All of the games will be like that from now on. And I don't, it doesn't matter if Dylan Raiola is our quarterback. It doesn't matter if Matt Rhule's our head coach. All of our games are going to be like this from now on. We're not going to see games where we just walk onto the field and dominate other opponents. I don't care who they are. Big Ten is a tough conference. You could question top to bottom, but there's been some upsets lately that looks the case. Football has changed to the point that everybody can basically buy some players. And you're not going to have I really don't know what you're looking for when you're watching football. NFL fans go through this shit every week where, what was it, a couple weeks ago, Cleveland upset Green Bay. That was a terrible game. And yet, they're still fans. Of course, they all go insane. I know people in my neighborhood that because they're Vikings fans have thrown out all their Vikings stuff, burned shit, things like that. But all of our games are going to be tough from now on. There's not going to be any dominant teams. You might have Ohio State that always remains up here. You might have an Oregon or I was going to say Penn State, but that's not the case. But, Indiana right now, you might have some teams like that. But by and large, college football is probably going to be more of a really of a fight than it's ever been. Gone are the days of Tom Osborne and the Big Eight, in which we used to overmatch everybody except Oklahoma, pretty much. So I would love it if more of you came to Coordination for our game threads if you're on YouTube. I would love us to be civil. I would love us to be thoughtful in our conversations and our discussions. And I just wanted to say thank you there's nothing wrong for walking away from a game if it's really pissing you off. You're not less of a fan. I don't believe in this gatekeeping crap. But I think that's it for this video. Thank you. Take care.